In today's episode, I'm going to take a look at using more or less specialty filters while shooting video with your smartphone. Learn how to turn your smartphone into a professional quality video camera. Be sure to check out our mobile filmmaking courses, master the FiLMiC Pro app, and learn about smartphone video and cinematography. And also, don't forget, we have a companion filmmaking podcast. Links are in the description. Hey guys, Blake Calhoun, and in my previous episode, I did a first look at the Moondog Labs 52mm multi-camera filter mount. And that's what I'm going to be using today as I mount these more unique filters on my iPhone 11 Pro. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a card here. You should definitely check that one out. You're used to me talking about ND filters or polarizers, but today I want to look at something a little bit different. One thing I haven't used a lot on smartphones are other kinds of filters, not ND filters or polarizers. And this is one that I really like using on my traditional cameras, and it's a softening filter, for lack of a better term. It is a Hollywood Black Magic filter. And when I say softening, it really will take the edge off skin, but the main thing it does is soften lights. And I use this to great effect in a short film I shot, a sci-fi short film. But I want to try this now on an iPhone, and using the new filter setup from Moondog Labs will allow me to see how this looks on a smartphone. So I'm putting the step-up ring on, and then I'll put the filter on. The highlight glow effect is a little more prominent using the iPhone. Focal length, of course, plays a role in the intensity of a filter. The nice thing about this filter is it does retain the sharpness along with the shadows. This is an expensive filter. I think this one right here was just under $200 for one filter. This is a 1/8 filter. They make quarter, they make half, so this one is a lesser strength because I think using these kind of filters a little bit can go a long way. And again, the focal length makes a difference in the intensity as well. Now, admittedly, this is a big piece of glass for this. It's designed for a larger traditional lens. But as I mentioned, these are very expensive and I can't afford to buy different filters for different sizes. And so it's nice that this can work with my traditional cameras, and now it can work with my smartphone camera. ND Grad filters are one of my favorite to use, not only for adding style, darkening skies and that kind of thing, but they also have a lot of practical uses and really come in handy. This is a 0.6 ND Grad, so you lose 2 stops. And it's just on one part of the filter, so you can spin it. Normally it's used in the sky, but it could be used anywhere you want. And so here's a good example. I'm shooting my dark vehicle and then the sky at the same time. And to get the exposure on the vehicle, the sky would blow out. And so I use an ND Grad and you get good exposure in both areas. So this is what I mean by it can give you a stylized look by darkening the sky, but in the same breath, you could also use it for pragmatic reasons or technical reasons. And here's another example, a pretty common issue you'll have shooting the front of a house or a building, and then the sky would be blown out above it. This is probably the number one way I use this filter. And again, it can make a big difference. I really like this look. And then in this example, no ND Grad here. And notice the angle of the roof here from this position. Put the ND Grad on and spin it to the desired position that you want to make the sky look good. So it can definitely give you a nice option because you can spin it almost like a CPL filter. High contrast scene, interior of the car, seeing outside with the Grad filter on. Spinning the Grad filter, you can see the outside exposure changes, but the inside, it changes a little bit, but it stays pretty consistent. And here's the exact same shot with no filter, no Grad filter on. Here's the same shot, but now using the tele lens. Grad filter is on.
And now the Grad filter is off. So it does work with the wide and the tele. Now I will test the ultra wide. Here's the same shot with the ultra wide. No ND Grad on. So not surprisingly, the ND Grad doesn't really work with the ultra wide lens. Maybe the very tip top of the frame. But the bulk of the frame is still overexposed. The ultra wide lens is positioned lower on the array of lenses and cameras on the iPhone 11 Pro. The wide and the tele are up at the top. So it is something to use if you're shooting with the tele or the wide, but not the ultra wide. So I'm using the zoom feature in FiLMiC Pro, which I never would use. This is the ultra wide with the ND on. That's now the wide with the ND on, and the wide looks good. And that's now the tele with the ND on, and the tele looks good. The ultra wide, it doesn't cover.
So that's a look at a couple filters I use on my traditional cameras and now my smartphones too. And of course, the nice thing using this Moondog Labs adapter is I can do it with the built-in lenses. I don't have to use a third-party lens for that, although I could, or you could also do this with anamorphic, by the way. So give one of these a try on your next project. And let me know in the comments, what kind of other filters have you used? Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.